Hello, and welcome to Not Another Year in Our House. This is a check-in bonus video that I do usually at the end of every the year that ends with the 5. So it happens every 10 years, but it's on the 5s. I loaded into where Kellen is at war. That's not Kellen, that's Harris, y'all. So that I could get his tombstones that were in his pocket. So this is his wife Elizabeth, and this is their son Emery, and that is also where little Reese will come. This is where Kellen. Oh, y'all, why do I say Kellen instead of Harris? I got so many comments in the last episode about how many times I called Harris the wrong name. Okay, Harris and the rest of the heirs will be buried in this section right here. So if you've never seen these sections, Katie made this cemetery for us when we had the blue and yellow and purple families. So everybody that's not a main part of our household they're automatically purple. If you're not an heir, you're purple. So this is where Elizabeth will actually end up over here where he's going to go, because it's usually Harris, like the heir and their spouse, and then their kids go over here. But I put them together for right now. Anyway, that's it. That's all we have. None of the rest of the tombstones moved with us when we moved. They did, but they didn't have any names written on them. So there is our cemetery update. Hopefully in 10 years, it will look a little different. You know what? Actually, hopefully in 10 years, I know it will, because our little baby Reese is dying as soon as we play 1426. So I know Reese is going to be here in 10 years, but hopefully that's it. Reese is the only person that joins this place in 10 years. That's also not true, because we already know that Grandma and Uncle Kellen are dying. Okay, I don't want to talk about it anymore. That is our game update as far as the cemetery goes. Over here, you can see in 1423 is when I started, when we had the Great Rift, was between 1422 and 1423. So I wasn't sure exactly how you guys wanted these little updates to go, because I'm going to do these updates every 5 years for a little while, just until all of our side families have died out, which is going to be a minute, but it's not going to be forever. So I want to know the way you guys want to check in, because what I've been doing is I'm doing going live with my channel members and doing all of the other roles. So you can see Daniel Smith is dying in 8 years. Kai Miller is dying in 8 years. Isaac Miller died immediately. So I can go down this list over here and tell you who all died in 1423, which was to Patricia McCarthy. And then who died in 1424, which is all the way down here. We had a ton of people die that year. And then in 1425, we only had 2 people die the whole year. So I can go through there and read their names and pop their pictures up if you want to see that, the last picture that we had of them, because I can't take new pictures of them. Or I can just leave this here for you and tell you the number of people. Like in the last 3 years right here, we lost 15 Sims from our family tree. So I can update you that way, and this is always linked in the description of every video, always. So anytime you want, you can come in here and look at this. Yes, you will get spoilers if you scroll down, but if you just stay up here in the place that whatever year you're wanting to look at, you can get that information without spoilers. So you guys let me know how you want me to do updates on our extended families. I could just tell you, like, Ursa Wickerson and her brother Victor Jones rolled to live for another 10 years. So the Jones family and that nose is living on for another 10 years. Somebody commented and said, well, I guess that's one way you could get rid of the Jones nose, but it's still alive and well in the other place. So I guess that's it. That's our update on what was happening or what has happened with the extended families. If there's any family that a bunch of you, like multiple of you, really want to follow along with and you want to know about, then we can discuss what we would do with them or what happened with them and all that stuff if you want to do that. So I'm open to any suggestions that you guys have about what we should do for our extended families. So let's go talk about the family tree next. Okay, let me get the ad off. We'll just do it like that. This is our family tree. As always, we have our spoiler alert that it is updated through the year 1425. So don't come over here looking if you don't want to see anything. We had this discussion. Lindsay and I have had quite a few discussions about what things are going to look like now. This is the list of names, all the surnames from our whole tree. Miller, there's 137 people with the last name of Miller in our tree. So let's look at it. Here is Edmund and Grace and all of their kids. And we have to keep going down. So I've got to get over here to Hugh. Hugh was our next heir. Let's go to his tree. And it gives us 2 generations at a time. The next heir was John. So let's go to John's tree. And we still have 2 generations above. So we can see Edmund and Hugh and John. And then John's son, Kellen. Y'all, I finally get to say Kellen. John's son, Kellen, who was born during the middle of the plague, lived and became the next heir. And he married Ida, who just died. Ida just died, and their son, Sebastian, became the next heir. And Sebastian married Alice, who is still alive in our family tree. And Sebastian and Alice had all of these children, and none of them, except Harris, actually grew up to have children. They had all these girls, Grace, Alice, Ida, Ruth, Claire, and then the boys, Sebastian, Kellen, and Leonard, who all died. And only Harris lived. So here, who is still alive, is Harris. And here's his wife, Elizabeth. And they have had all of these children. And if you're caught up right now where we are, we have Sebastian, Xavier, and Emma, who is still alive. Technically, yes, Reese is still alive because he's not dying until 1426, as soon as I start playing again. But Sebastian, Xavier, and Emma are the only people who are alive. So we will see what happens in 1435. When we check back in with this family tree, we will see what's going on because things will definitely look different. Anyway, I just always want to say a big thank you to Lynn's. Let me show you. So she puts notes out beside some of them when they go to different wars. Okay, here we go, right here for Kellen. He was drafted into the war in 1415. He survived the war and returned home to his family. The event was the 100-Year War, Part 3. And there's his father and mother and all of his siblings. He never got married. This is our Uncle Kellen that lives at the house. But things like that. Like, she's been putting those things in there when they got drafted for the war and what happened. They came home and all that stuff. Oh, and right here, here's what she did for Harris. It says he was drafted into the war in 1415. He survived the war and returned home to his family. He and his family had to make an emergency move and could not tell the family or other members. They had to leave their home in the middle of the night. And so that is how he got where he is. That is Harris. I love it that she puts those little details in there for the things that happened to them. So we have covered the cemetery update. We have covered the family tree over here and what's going on. And we've covered the spreadsheet and what's going on. So that is going to do it for this little short update on the 25 or 1425. At the end of 1430, we will have an update for the decade, a wrap up like we usually do. And we're going to do family pictures, but it's literally just going to be our main family in the pictures. And who knows what they're going to look like or who that's going to be, because 1430 is the end of the war when Harris should be coming home. So that is a lot of stuff that's going to be coming up and happening, even though our family has gotten much smaller. I am going to leave you guys right here, and I will just see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.